Frank, you touched on this a little bit with the upcoming federal infrastructure bill. And as we get into, actually, let me pause there. As we get into Q&A, I'll start off the Q&A with a question. Should you have any questions, please go ahead and enter those into the chat, and then we'll read those out and get the feedback from our panelists. But Frank, you talked about the federal infrastructure bill, all that money that's going to be coming down next year. This is the biggest federal investment in both LIHEAP and WAP programs that we've seen since the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act.
That's right.
Certainly a lot of lessons learned and that go around for these programs. What lessons were learned there, and then how can we apply those to this next round of investment?
Well, I think they got it right in the way that they're applying the funding for weatherization. As I understand it, the $3+ billion that are being injected there are not like in ARRA. Literally, the money that was injected had to be spent in 2 years, and so the market was not able to absorb it that fast. Well, the market did, but there were some real hiccups doing that, and we were involved at that time in trying to ramp up the resources in Tennessee to be able to take the funding that was coming into them. And it was really it was a huge challenge, because you just simply can't, you can't ramp up the audit staff, you can't ramp up the contractors that fast. But this time they're going to give a runway, and that's the thing that's going to be really important. I mean, I've talked to folks, maybe, it's going to take, we have to ramp into this over probably 18 months to get to a point where we can, fully utilize that. One of the things that we're going to want to do is work very closely with the state agencies to understand how we can help in that regard. But that's, and it's not just auditors, inspectors, it's contractors as well. So, that's the challenge. It's wonderful the funding's coming. We just need, and I think we are this time going to ramp that in and make the very best of that as well. So I'm very hopeful that that's going to happen. And there's also a lot of workforce development dollars coming into play here too. That's going to help a lot too.
Yeah. I guess one of the nice things we did see with that our investment, as you mentioned, your auditors need to be BPI certified in a number of states around the country. I mean, there are a lot of training facilities that were really built out to be able to kind of train that workforce rapidly and get them out in the marketplace. So those can be really taken advantage of.
I guess there's one other thing that I hope happens this time. With ARA, you had this big push 2 years, and then the funding, went back to normal levels, and so we had kind of a boom bust, if you will, in the industry. I'm hoping as the future unfolds that we'll get some strong continued levels of funding for weatherization going forward once these initial dollars are spent.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to add, though, I think to what Frank is saying, that we're actually, not only hoping, but that we're going to need it, right? The administration has a commitment of 2 million homes weatherized in the next 2 years. What we know is that weatherization, traditionally in the funding, it's 35,000 homes a year. And so while this money is really, really important, and the way that we spend it and spending it right is important, it will not be enough of an investment to hit that 2 million home that we have as a goal. And so programs like TVAs and others are going to be even more important because they're going to be filling the gap where federal dollars can't do it.